Welcome to the Purple Positivity Podcast for April the 13th, 2018. It is Friday the 13th. I am your host, the amazingly adorable Rebecca Thistle, podcasting to you live-ish from my kitchen/dining room table in my apartment, which I call Jeffrey Thistlework. Yay! So, I try and come on this show. I try and come on both of my shows, but especially this show, and be as honest as I possibly can. You know, it's called the Purple Positivity Podcast, and I try and make it clear that when I'm talking about positivity, I'm not talking about always being upbeat and happy, because life doesn't work that way. I try and be real with whomever is listening to this. Life doesn't work that way. You're not always going to be happy. You're not always going to be great. And, I think sometimes it freaks people out because I always seem like I'm looking up, and I am. I come back around to it. I was having a conversation with someone, all caps someone, last night, and and I'll be honest, I was in a bad mood. I had been talking to my son on FaceTime, and the conversation ended rather abruptly, and it killed me inside. And I felt so helpless and so hurt and so scared. And and I mean, when you feel bad, like you feel bad. There's nothing wrong with feelings. I know that sounds like so, hippy dippy, modern bullshit sort of thing. But let's be real. You're going to feel feelings. I feel feelings. I felt helpless. I felt angry. I felt hurt. I felt lonely. And I still, to a certain degree, feel all that. And what I tried to do, because of the person I was talking to and the rhetoric that we share, I tried to push it aside and act like it didn't bother me. Act like, it's going to be okay. Plus, he sort of called me on it. I started talking about how I felt. I felt the last couple times that I've been to court with this CPS case, nobody was on my side of the courtroom. Nobody was there cheering me on. Nobody. And he said, and I appreciate him saying this. He said, why do you need anybody else? You only need you. And I started saying, yeah, but, and he went, you're such a hypocrite. Well, actually, I don't think that's what he actually said, but that was the point, is you're such a hypocrite. You just said to me, you sent me a text message yesterday that said, exactly the opposite of that. And I went, yeah, I know. And I tried to explain, I don't think I did a good job of it, that I was just venting, and I was just feeling, and I mean, it's like, okay, so, not last night, but the night before, so Wednesday night, I was also in a really bad mood and not feeling it, and I'd just gotten paid, so I was like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm going to order out. And so I ordered from this restaurant here in town called Rick and Carolyn's. Has the best fries in the world. Oh my gosh. But I ordered a steak finger basket because they also have the best steak fingers. Not in the world, but in town. And so I ordered that. And normally when I get a steak finger basket, I can split it up into 2 sittings, if not 3 or 4, and just sort of, pace myself with it. But because I was in such a bad mood and a bad place, I ate my feelings. I ate this entire thing in one sitting, and and I woke up the next morning with horrible heartburn, and I like, my stomach hurt so bad. I was still full. And I actually didn't eat anything more than a handful or so of trail mix until dinner time last night, because I was that full. My body was taking time to process that food. And so, to get back to the point that I'm trying to make, and the analogy I'm trying to make, is it's the same thing with feelings. Is you're going to feel your feelings. You're going to feel angry. And then you've got to go through a process of metabolizing, I guess, those feelings. And the way I do it is I vent and I cry and I rage and I feel sorry for myself. And then eventually I come back around to, you know what? Fuck it. So like this situation with CPS and all that, like I get angry and I get sad and I feel helpless. And, and I vent all that, and it sounds like I'm being negative and I'm being hopeless and I've given up and all that. But eventually you let me talk it out long enough, I'm going to get back to, you know what? I can get through this. And that's what being positive is about. And that's what I try to convey on this show, is that positivity isn't about necessarily always thinking everything's going to be okay. I don't need negativity, and it's not about never feeling anything negative or never being negative. It's about always coming back to the positive. It's about acknowledging that there is negativity in this world, that you're gonna feel like shit, that you're gonna go through shit, that you are going to go through darkness, and it is going to hurt. And when you're hurting, it's okay to hurt. So long as at the end of the day, on the other side of that hurt, you go, I'm gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. This is all happening for a reason. And so I'm not really feeling it today. I'm not. I had that conversation. I'm freaked out about the situation with my son and CPS and all this crap going on. I feel like crap. I feel awful. I feel scared. I feel helpless. I feel so helpless. I feel like things are not coming together. I feel there's a reason that The Young and the Hopeless by Good Charlotte is still one of my all-time favorite songs, if not my all-time favorite song. There's a line in there, or a part in there where it says, and if I make it through today, will tomorrow be the same? Am I just running in place? And that's how I feel. That's how I feel today. I feel like a gerbil or a hamster on one of those spinny wheels, just running around in circles and not getting anywhere. And that's how I feel in this moment. And it's okay that I feel that way. It's okay that I hurt. It's okay that I spent half the night crying. It's okay. Because on the other side of this, I know that everything's going to work out. That all this is happening for a reason. That whatever darkness I'm in and I'm experiencing, it's just preparing me to appreciate the light that's to come. You know, when I was 18 years old, I went to this place in Austin. I just lost my vision. And I went to this place in Austin called the Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center for the Blind. And what they do is they teach you how to live independently as a blind person. And so that everybody's on basically the same level playing field, everybody has to wear a blindfold and learn how to navigate, the transportation and stuff like that under blindfold, learn how to cook under blindfold, learn how to clean under blindfold, learn how to use a computer under blindfold, etc., etc., etc. Everything under blindfold. And, excuse me. And what a lot of people notice, myself included, is when you spend a prolonged amount of time under blindfold, when you take that off, you appreciate what little vision you have, even more than you did before you put it on. You appreciate what you can see. And it's a frustrating process. Like, I'm not gonna lie. We call to this day, me and my friends, we still call it Chris Cole the piss hole. And it is not an easy process to go through, not least the training, but that whole center was a very difficult place to be in general. But with the benediction of hindsight, call back to Monday's episode, I can see, pun intended, how that was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And it made me appreciate what I do have. But, actually I shouldn't say but, and while I was going through it, that didn't mean that I wasn't entitled to my frustration. I wasn't entitled to my anger. I wasn't entitled to my sorrow and grief over the loss of my vision, because yes, there's a grieving process when you lose one of your major senses, or a significant amount of one of your major senses. Oh, my toodaloo. What? Special guest appearance by the cat. So, I think the purpose of me, sort of, I don't have a title for this show yet. I'll come up with one later. I don't really have any set goal in mind other than to say, I'm not feeling it today. I'm really upset and scared about this situation with CPS.